Okay, so hello guys, welcome back to episode 2. Today we have two more people with us today. One is our Saman. He's the guy, he's the man behind the man. He's the guy who always takes care of the cameras and editing and everything. And our guest is Mr. Ashutosh Mulmi.
What's up?
What's up?
It's nice to finally see you. You should show your face more.
Well, I'll try to show it more often now, yes.
Okay.
So I met Ashutosh in 2021, I believe.
Yeah, we met a year ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago,
Yeah.
roughly.
I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Yeah, he comes into the gym and straight up starts talking to everyone like he knows them. Like, who is this guy? And
That's
then
when
he joins the MMA class and he does jiu-jitsu.
Mm.
And it's pretty decent as well. Like, who is this guy?
Thank you.
Because he was from Thailand, like he was in Thailand at that time.
We trained.
Yeah, I was
We didn't get very close then, but it's after the second time he came back.
We became close. I mean, I remember it because when I saw you for the first time, it was after 2 years. Like I was in Bangkok for 2 years during COVID. And this like the gym I knew and the gym it was were two different.
So you were like, who is this?
Who is this guy? And like all the seniors will go on, like new people came in, and the only person I know is Koshish.
Yeah.
And Koshish like, oh, there's this other guy. He's like, we hang out all the time. You like him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's Ashutosh. And then I remember like first time I saw you was in the hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you were doing strength training and you took off the hoodie, and I thought you were a completely different guy.
The pump has
Fair enough.
It's
All good friends now.
we're very good friends. Huh? Yeah, I remember you helped me lose weight in my possible first MMA match.
That didn't happen.
That did happen because my opponent got COVID.
Oh, that sucks, man.
That sucks.
He trained hard, man. Lots of running. He ran a lot.
I called him from Hakha, hey bro, can I tally with you? And he's like, no.
So he was your nutritionist come.
Oh, he was everything.
I was everything. I made him train, this is what he needs to work on. And the good thing is he listened. It was.
But I ate the tole for the first time. But okay, sir. But then like I noticed that you have a lot of knowledge in this aspect.
Thank you.
Martial arts, health and fitness. So when did you start?
It started way back, Australia.
Okay.
So before we even begin about martial arts, everything, we have to go all the way back. So I went to Australia at 2013 as a very 19-year-old. Kid out, I lived there for a long time out, and I went through all the things that a student goes through.
But what did you do to go to Australia?
Honestly, man, I had no idea what to do after plus 2. So my parents were like, okay, all your cousins are going to Australia abroad. Why don't you try abroad? And I went abroad. I had no clue whatever. I don't think I was ready for anything that was about to happen because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to work for a certain amount of stuff. Like I wasn't raised like everything I needed, I was provided. I was spoiled at that point. So when I went there, it was a shock, culture shock. It was like, what? You gotta do this? I was definitely not ready for that.
Did you feel insecure? Nepal or like I felt that when I went to Bangkok.
No, so I'm a land boy, and as soon as I got out, I saw the horizon for the first time. I was like, where are the mountains, man?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Growing up in Kathmandu Valley, wait.
I know. Like something's wrong. I felt insecure.
Yeah, you feel like, because it's very open. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
what if there's a tornado?
who's gonna protect me?
Yeah.
There's no swim pool now.
There's no swimming pool, there's no dogs in the street. The streets are so quiet.
Quite opposite to what we are.
Exactly. Growing up in Kathmandu the entire time, I was just surrounded by noise. But after I think 8 p.m. over there, it's just silence.
Okay,
But yeah, going back to where we were. So went to Australia. I lived out that life. I mean, I found out something was missing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, although I know lots of friends who stayed there, got their PR, studied, and all that stuff. They have a girl, they're married, and they have kids now. Good for them. I'm very happy for them. But for me, that didn't feel right. So I have to work all this to get a PR. and then continue with my life. So what did I just do with the 4, 5, 6 years of my life just for this? I know there's other benefits. I'm not really putting it down, but for me personally, I felt empty. So I was pondering my life at my friend's place. We had a barbecue going on, and every weekend they're like, "Oh, let's have a barbecue." And then with barbecue, and that's what they looked up to after every week. Grind. And that's all they want to do is have a barbecue, chills.
Weekly barbecue?
Almost.
Almost.
I'm like, that felt so empty for me. It was empty, like no pursuit. And what also happened was I was working at this place, and this was a Dairo, there's a Nepali guy, right? And he'd been working in that industry for a long time. I was the manager over there. Yeah, I was the manager. I was also very 21, 22, very young. Because I did the work right, I had everything organized, so the owner was like, "Right, man."
It's quite impressive that they.
Exactly. So I was in charge. I listened to him, I asked him for advice and stuff. So I was not happy with what he did. So I was like, "Hey man, maybe I could have taken it differently."
Oh, you were still.
I was a kid. So anyway, I told him, "Man, hey, this is not what you should be doing, blah blah blah," and he felt his ego was hurt. So he took me to the side and he yelled at me like, "Don't talk to me like that." Yeah, dude, he went.
Was he? He said he was Nepali.
He was definitely.
So
Nepali. I can't say what he said. I shouldn't say. Alright, so and he said a lot of stuff like that, and I felt very insecure. So and I got pissed as well, like, because I had the authority. So I said, "You should listen to me. I'm the one who's in charge." And he grabbed me by the throat, pushed me down. He didn't hit me, but at that time I felt so hungry.
Like was it in the middle of the street or like?
Yeah, it's behind the restaurant.
So
somewhere there's no one just
where they throw the trash,
stuff like that. Yeah. So he held me down, and he just started yelling at me like, "What you gonna do?"
That was quite scary though.
It was scary. Like, I'd never trained martial arts. I did taekwondo when I was a kid. Everybody did taekwondo, and so anyway, he did that to me, and that's when I realized, "Oh shit, I'm very vulnerable, and I don't want to feel like that ever again." And at the same time, I think it was Conor McGregor was coming up.
The man.
Yeah, when he was Mystic Mac, and I think he beat someone, the German guy. I don't know what he was. And he was very comedy. He could talk a lot, and he'd back it up. And I think a year later, he beat Aldo, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Kaun hai?
Yeah, and that made me alright. Okay, so this is the guy. He says what he wants, and then he goes and I want to be someone like him.
But that's very attractive, right?
He's very attractive. There's a lot of people who got into him because of him as well. So I'm one of them, fortunately. So I looked up MMA gyms or fighting gyms, whatever. Jade hard in a fighting environment. And I looked it up, and one of them was, I think, 20 minutes, one bus ride away from my house.
Oh, that's close.
Fortunate. I go check it out, and I went inside the gym, and he's like, the reception there was a guy there, and he's like, we started talking, what's the price and all that, and he heard my accent, and he's like, "Tini Nepali ho?" Wasn't you guys speaking Nepali? And I was shocked, like, "Oh, my girlfriend in Nepali." So he's like, and then he said, if you join right now, I'll give you a student discount on the spot. So I just stepped inside the reception. I don't know what's inside. I'm like, "Alright, let's do it."
Yes.
And you didn't even know about MMA much, right?
Nothing. So and then he tells me after I joined, so it was very cheap. I think $14 for a student, and that discount was only for school kids. But I'm a college kid, right? So he gave that to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. And like, he's the reason. Brock McCruff, shout out to Brock, man. I miss it. So he gave me the opportunity to train there, and I think it was jiu-jitsu class in an hour. So in an hour, I didn't have anything, and I met the coach. He introduced me to the coach, the jiu-jitsu coach, and I'm like, "Hey coach, it's my first time. Can I join in? I don't have any coach." I'm like, "Fine, sure." So he paired me up with this purple belt. It's very small shit, 50 kilos.
Oh, they look small, but they're
dangerous. They look small, but they're like little dragons, man.
Yeah.
And she choked me out, I think, 7 times in a 5-minute round.
So she a lady?
She, yeah, girl. Purple belt, small, 50 kilos or that max.
Possible.
And she, I have no idea.
Yeah.
She was doing all kinds of shit. I'm just like, whoa.
Did your ego get hurt?
No.
No?
No.
Because it was already hurt from the previous guy?
Not that, because I wasn't thinking like that.
I
I was like, okay, if she can do this to me, I can do it to other people if I keep doing it.
You took it in another way.
Potty ego hurt, but no, when I was training with other guys, and so they're slightly athletically advanced than me. Even though I've been training for a month or so, I should learn. I'd be able to hold them down, but no, they're strong. Teddy Villa's all good boy, right? But that's just the process, right?
So did you know that she was purple there, or like how did you know that she was?
She had a purple belt on. Well, I didn't know what it meant at that time. It was only later on when I started jiu-jitsu and okay, purple belt on you. Yeah. So going back to your question, that's how I joined the gym, and that's how I met a lot of people who helped me along the way. So I thought, I should help you along the way.
Oh, thank you very much, man. It has really been helpful.
Thank you.
But you said something about the process, right?
About the training process.
About the training process, like it's part of the process. Like you get beaten up, but then you have to continue doing it. But I have another question for you, and that question is: do you think it's more important to focus on the goal, or is it more important to focus on the process?
Oh, that's a good question. I was not expecting that from you. I expect that from him.
Oh.
Good question. A goal is necessary to keep you motivated to go through that. Like if let's say you want to be a champion, right? I'm thinking about it right now, so I think it is definitely necessary for you to keep going. Like, why are you doing this? Because this is what I want to be. But at the same time, once you're fully in it, I don't think the goal what you had at the start doesn't matter. It can change, and if you're evolving, it should change as well. You could reach it, and it's not that you can't reach it. At the same time, at the end of the day, if you don't reach it, but if you could give you 100% through that process, I think you already got something out of it.
You've become a completely different person.
Yeah, you learn a lot through the process. What you?
Yeah, definitely. Coming to the question, I have the same thing. When you're in a process of reaching a goal, emotions of it, it's not the same every day.
No,
definitely.
I'm learning about it. I'm still learning about it now. I go through different emotions.
So how do you keep yourself, motivated every day when you wake up the first thing? Because now that you're fighting, like your fight is coming up soon, and you definitely are going through over the camp.
Yeah.
For few days. And there was a lot of things which happened in your personal life too. And how do you make sure that you wake up every day and what's the main focus of it when you're going to that?
How do you do it when you don't want to do it?
Okay. Well, I think you need to have a good mentor, and I'm very fortunate enough to have a good mentor. There's only so much you can take while you're just going through it, while you're just learning. You don't know the actual process. I can say a lot of things, but I don't have the substance to back it up. So you need to have a mentor who's gone through that. So I'm fortunate that I have somebody like you. We help in different ways.
We help each other.
Yeah, we help each other in different ways, and I also have having a good team, someone you can talk to, like with coaches, I can talk to them. This is what's going on. Even though they might go through it, they might not go through it, but at least they understand, or at least they listen. So having that team is necessary. Like going back to my coach, he's been through a lot, and that's why he's very knowledgeable. So he can guide me. Okay, so this is how I'm thinking. This is how you should be thinking to get me back on track. So I have that, but most of the time you don't. And for that, you yourself have to change as a person. Like, so you can't just be okay. So let's say I have a training camp right now. Right? Every day it's training. Every day it's hard. And as a human being, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to do the training, but you just gotta tell yourself, this is what I do. This is who I am. I am the guy who goes out and train. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care if I don't want to. This is just who I am. And then you just go through it. It's hard, but halfway through, you don't even think about it. It's always the beginning, the start. Like even when I'm starting training, even today, I was just thinking, I'm not going to train, but then I just start. So I see have my teammates training, and I was let's walk around. Once my body's warm. Once you're going through the process, let's say you need to write something. Once you write a couple of pages, then you don't need to.
So once you get the flow, then it's just
exactly.
starts going.
Once you start flowing, it just goes. It just happens.
And also coming back to the jiu-jitsu thing, which you started learning from Australia.
Yeah.
And now you also teach jiu-jitsu in one of your classes.
Yeah.
Because I even came to attend a few of your classes, group classes. Not really. Boxing, which came into MMA, and then
one of those. Yeah. I was just playing around. I'm just explaining.
So, seeing those transitions of your learning, because you're also learning every day in terms of the jiu-jitsu things and all those things. What difference have you seen in yourself in the way you approach jiu-jitsu from day one to day now?
Yeah. So, quoting I'm saying a line said by Yugin Sharma, and she said, and she said, I think one time she said, we learn by teaching.
Oh,
She's smart. And then this is definitely so. When you learn something, right? And when you actually want to teach, you need to understand the whole inside of it. So if I'm just throwing a jab and I'm teaching a jab, so someone say, oh, just extend the hand, but you understand, okay, now you have to shoulder up. Why? Because if you get hit, your shoulder's protecting you, right? So you go straight and then you come back. So even really something simple as that, you need to understand, okay, you need to know the ins and out. And while teaching that to someone else, I'm increasing my understanding of that as well. It's the same thing with boxing, jiu-jitsu, everything. And every time I teach, if I actually put everything into writing things down, learning this is what you can do and do all those stuff, then as a coach, as a teacher, you learn, and this helps you as a fighter as well. So, okay, I'm fighting, I'm shadow boxing, my hands are talking, okay. Even though I need to be reminded sometimes, but okay, this is what needs to happen. So it helps me out as well. So at the end of the day, even though I'm teaching someone else, it helps me out. So it's a win-win. I can teach someone else.
So you've been a student while teaching too?
Yeah.
And it teaches you a lot about yourself as well. Because sometimes you can say, okay, Mati Ratna, and then they don't do it because they're a beginner.
Yeah.
And then it tests your patience.
I just slap them. No, it's true. It's the best way. It's a shock. So you have a complete beginner, someone, let's say even a girl, right? She's coming in, you don't go and slap them, but tell them to keep your hands up. So they don't, you just go,
a little tap.
And they're like, okay, so if you had your hands up, you win this man. They're like, oh, okay. So now next time she's thinking, it's a fun way to introduce, okay, this is what you need to happen.
Or this is what happens.
The consequences, So.
And also coming back to Sandesh Guru,
we have to.
Like there will be a lot of back and forth.
We have to,
Because I see him last time. You remember when we were doing the deadlift thing?
Yes.
One of the time when he was asking us to do it, and he showed us 4 different ways to do it. And it was even the smallest of the weight felt so heavy that time. I still remember it. And you have been interacting with him quite frequently. So what was the major difference you saw in yourself, and over the past before and after, his way of approach towards life, or it can be towards training, or the way to see how to learn up any skill or anything.
He used to tell me there's different kinds of sciences to everything, right? See, the thing is, I work the afternoon shift of age, the shift that nobody wants to do. Is it boring? But because of that, I get to have time with Sandesh because he's training there. So right now he's training us. He's going through all that. But I get a few moments, even the extended periods, I get to spend a lot of time with him, and I get to know the insides of God, even though I don't know what's going through his mind. There's so many things. But he told me an approach to it. So there's lots of sciences to it. There's pseudoscience. To me, that's fake bullshit. There's the bro science.
Protein.
Protein, yeah, chicken breast, broccoli, stuff like that. There's the superficial science, things that you just tell your friends, and there's the deep science. Always go for the deep science. Understand, if you want to understand something, just dive deep into it. That's when you understand what you care about.
And you can always make up the other three. If you know the deep science.
It doesn't take much. So once you do that, then if you're gonna do something, then go all in, right? So go in deep, the deep science, try to understand everything. Then you have something. So even that, like if you talk to people always talk shit. They're just saying all kinds of stuff that they think they know, but they don't know. But they're just saying because they just want to sound smart. And once you understand the deep science, it's okay. When you say something like for example, fitness, right? When I was first starting out, I didn't know a lot of things, but once I delved deep and put in a little bit of work, even though I say something which is very simple, they're like, wow, this guy knows his stuff. And now they have a different level of thinking of me, right? And they come to me now. So
that's nice.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So he allowed you to change.
He's changed the way I think, the way I like. There were so many things that used to bother me, which shouldn't be bothering me in the first place because it's unnecessary. Definitely. I think one of the reasons I've stayed back in the pub is because of it.
Why so? Like what was?
Okay, so I could have gone back to Australia, and the thing was, so I got stuck here during lockdown.
Okay.
Right.
Also, you came back here.
Yeah, I was like a few months before lockdown. A month before lockdown.
You came for a family visit or something?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was here. I was supposed to go back. My cousin also was supposed to get married. Yeah. And 3 days before my flight, they locked down Australia.
That sucks.
Yeah. And I was waiting for them to open up. I have to go back. They didn't open up.
Oh yeah, they were closed for
They were closed for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And at that point, a lot of things happened to me, personal, and financial, everything. A lot of things happened to me, which made me question myself. So now at that point, I didn't know what to do. But I was very fortunate that I found Rage.
How did you find them in the first place?
Rage? Okay. You just keep up to going back. Alright, so in a month, right?
Yeah.
So I met her at Naxal.
That's a good way to introduce that.
That's him, right? Not me.
He started.
We like it.
Please kindly do it.
So I met her at Naxal Boxing Club. So I was locked down. I didn't know we had gyms. I mean, I could have gone to gyms, but I didn't know if they were open. So I just go on runs mornings and evenings, and I saw Naxal Boxing Club in Hakha.
Oh yeah.
And I think I saw someone hitting the bag. Maybe we subbing. So I was like, oh, they have boxing. Maybe I should join them. And one day, morning run, I saw they were actually training. So I had the coach as well, and I said, okay, can I join? And he said, right, join.
It was during the COVID time.
Yeah, it was during the COVID times. I think it was the first, when they were in the lockdown the first time. Yeah. And I trained there for a couple of months, and that's when I met Manchan. And we were talking, he said, no, where else do you train now? I train MMA too. I'm like, MMA? You train MMA? No, I mean, where do you train MMA? And she said, oh, Rage my training was. I didn't even know about Rage. Australia was not about Gym Khana. I think all people just did that. Maybe Kathmandu, but never heard of Rage.
Rage was very low key when it came to marketing at that time.
Yeah. I didn't hear about Rage as well, so I was like, okay, what is this gym? Never heard of it. So okay, but it was close by, and Mansha told me, I'll talk to the guys over there, make that and all that, and we might hook you up with something. So I come to Rage, and I may make that for the first time. And we train with him, we talk with him, and make that. And I was like, so after that, I trained a few times there, and okay.
Your first fight representing
Rage. Okay. That didn't happen for a while, man.
Oh, really? I thought like
No, that didn't happen for a while. Yeah. What is this? Okay, so my first fight at Rage was probably a year after.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. Since I joined Rage. That was So there was as soon as I joined the race, there was a kickboxing fight going on, and but because I'd only been like 5 days a week, they're like,
so you
do it next time. Alright, cool, but nothing happened for a year. There were a few pro matches, maybe a boxing fight, but I think nothing. So because of lockdown, so there was a lot going on, and I think Koshish was fighting a boxing fight, and
I do remember that.
yeah, that's when I first met you. Anyway, we go back to that. So Koshish was having a boxing fight at Basantapoor, and a week, not Basantapoor. No, not Basantapour. Satavada.
Oh yeah.
So that's where he had the headphones and So he was fighting there, and I think a week later, I was supposed to fight in a Muay Thai fight, amateur.
Same place?
No, it's a different place.
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't really have a good training camp because we were all focusing on coaches. I mean, I had a little bit of fitness then. My fitness was good.
But you were not the main focus, basically.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. So, and after the boxing fight, all the fights just disappeared for a week.
Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah, which is, you just had a fight, you want to go and relax.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a camp at all. I just trained by myself. I said, listen, this time, okay, you'll be fine. It's an amateur fight. Okay. Yeah, so I fought in Gokarna Muay Thai, amateur fight. It was not my best performance, man. I didn't really have training. The first round, I was very hesitant to hit because it was like, okay. It was only after the second round and third round that's when I started going. I could have finished the kid, but I got to win. That's what matters. Yeah, that's my first fight.
And isn't it the same champion, the same tournament who won the belt? Or was it only TG?
It was where TG won.
Oh, TG won.
Yeah. It was the same fight.
And Koshish was your opponent.
Yeah, that was me, Santosh and Koshish. All I remember was saying was, touch it, just touch it, man, just touch it.
So coming to because you have sparred with Koshish, you have sparred with Santosh.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know Koshish before you met him. When you saw the Gymkhana fight night of Koshish.
Yeah, I was like, who is this guy? Beat him up. I joke about it with Koshish all the time. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who Hakha was. I just saw a fight and I saw him. I was like, I could beat him up. But later on, I didn't know at that time who was this guy. And later on in life, he became one of my best friends. It's funny.
It's funny, yeah.
That has its.
It has its ways.
The reason why I'm asking is okay, when you sparred with Koshish, you had I'd say hundreds of hours sparring with Koshish and training with him.
Yeah.
So, what was the give and takes, and what's actually the relationship goes like when you guys are sparring or learning together?
We both evolved as people, and we both evolved our friendship as well. When I first met him, it was at the age we didn't talk much, and sparring, he just beat me up. And, he did to everyone, right? But he at the time he wasn't very full on man. Just threw really hard leg kicks, and I was like, dude, it's okay, I'll sit down. He's like, alright, man. But later on, as we had to grow as teammates, then the sparring just got intense and intense. And there was a few times where we even had to fight, man. We'd fight in the gym and we'd text later and what was that? And you started it. It happened once. And there was a bit of tension after that, but we just kind of and we've been with each other in so many things outside of fighting that we realized that, at least from my perspective, this guy, he spars hard and stuff, but he's been there for me. And him sparring hard is not just, he's training me as well, he's teaching me as well, right? I have to look at it objectively. So I think when he first started, there was a lot of questionable moments. But now, a year and a half later, I think we know there's no animals. If we spar hard, there's no animals.
Absolutely.
And now it's even after the sparring, it's not so. So it's true. I think it's a true friendship.
It's just part of the team now.
It's just he's teaching me, I'm teaching him.
Yeah,
He helps me get better. I help him get better.
That's a really good to say. And also when you guys discuss about the fight,
Yeah.
like not just your fights coming up, but because we normally see a lot of fights in the gym every other week whenever there's a UFC match. Like what and how do you guys exchange the notes in terms of like
Of each other fights
or like
other fights?
other fights, like in terms of any fight you watch.
Yeah. We just most of it is just we do go technical. To be honest, we just like, oh, that was cool, man. Like, let's try that as far as stuff like that. But more technical stuff doesn't come from watching other fights. It's between our sparring sessions. Like what was I doing wrong? How was the sparring for you? What were you seeing and stuff like that.
So trying to analyze each other's
Each other, yeah. That's when we more talk technical. Other time when we're actually UFC fights, we're just hit it, yeah.
You guys like trash talk each other when you're watching any of the fights. Like for example, like last fight when Israel was fighting Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Did you guys were like on the other side? And
We were on the other side, but I don't know, man. Trash talking with Kush is he's a rapper.
Yes. If you can trash talk with him,
It just comes back, so yeah. I try to keep that in him anyway. But I do have moments where I'm like,
And coming to your sparring partners, like you do roll with Yugen sometimes.
Yeah.
You sparring with Abel.
yeah.
And even like last time when he was sparring with Arjun Bhai, I was saying because Arjun Bhai was like also pushing you towards trying new things out, and you were also shooting in a different ways, and you were also trying to keep up the pace. Considering that you have gone with different people at that time, okay, how do you see like each other's approach towards for example when you spar with Yugen, how do you see like what would be your focus on, and when you spar with Abel, what you see, and with Arjun or Jordan, what do you try to look forward to spar with them?
So because I've sparred them for a while, I know what they're good at, what they're not good at. But each of them is a problem. It's a different problem. So you can southpaw, Abel's fast with his jabs, Jordan's got good movement, Arjun is very strong. So it's all different problems, and I have to approach it in a different. Okay, what can I do to him to counter what he's good at?
So basically, it's just being with a different player.
Yeah, it's different players, and everybody brings out a different problem. You just have to solve it. So you can't solve this different problems the same way. So the way I spar with Abel is completely different to the way I spar Eugene or you or even you. So you all have, we're all different sizes. We're all good at different things. So that helps me learn as well.
And coming to Cyrus, like
Yeah.
the OG of
OG
race fight.
Yeah. He's got a nickname now.
What is it?
The leg killer.
Yeah. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, the leg
Go
killer.
kept it goes on.
I guess it was Sandesh type, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We can cross check it.
Yeah. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Because like he was not for a while. He didn't train for a while because of his injuries and all those things. And once he came back, it's now like full on camp with you guys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a full on camp.
He comes when he can.
When he has. But I think for a full camp, in a way, I think this is the longest I've seen him.
Yeah.
Train.
Something.
Yeah.
So well, I think the Cyrus side that left isn't the Cyrus side that came back. I don't mean in a bad way. I think before he was the leg killer, and now from what I hear from coaches, I know he's more technical. So he doesn't go for the leg kicks as much, but he's much more technical. So he's evolved. He's evolved as well. So yeah.
Cyrus type V2.
V2, man.
V2.
And coming to your, when you take a group class, when you do, because you also do your personal training, and as you're training nowadays, and you have your training, you have to make sure your diet is set. And when you take your group class and PT, what actually, how do you make sure the shift between your fight approach to, the class? Because when you're in a class, you can't have the fighting game on. The mindset has to make sure that everybody is, because not everybody comes there for.
Oh yeah, so not everybody wants to be a fighter. Yeah, definitely. They just come there. So that's where you need to wear different hats. So So when you're a fighter, you're a fighter. When you're doing a group class, you take off that and you become a coach. So you need to have that. And I do feel everybody can do it. I try to give them as much fighting, or not necessarily fighting, more useful knowledge when I give them kickboxing lessons. That's effective for them. So before, I used to give everyone the same kind of training, and that was how I started. And then I realized, okay, watching Sunday Style train us, right? So he'd have us in a couple of pairs, and he'd just be like, okay, you guys do this because you guys are good at this, you guys aren't, so you stay at this level, and that. So I kind of took that approach in my classes as well. Different level guys. So with the advanced guys, I give them advanced something for them, because you don't want to make it boring, right? You don't want to teach them how to parry a jab. They've done it so many times. So just parry, counter, something like that, right? So you give them that thought, and you give them the beginners, and the complete beginners, you just teach them how to punch. So that way, everybody gets the value of that. And it is hard sometimes. Sometimes, I shouldn't say this, but sometimes you just spark. But having, okay, this is what I'm going to do, these classes helps a lot. It makes it easier, so you don't have to think about it.
And when you're taking the private sessions, what would be your approach towards the person? For example, I come in as a private session with you. So what would you try to assess me, or what goes through your mind?
Private classes are different. Now all my attention is on you and your goals.
Okay.
So the best way I can take you to your goals is my approach. This is what I think about private training. And what is it that they want, and how can I get it? Sometimes they come with something completely unrealistic. Well, I want to lose 15 kilos in a couple of months. That's when you have to be like, okay, that's not how this works. This is realistically, this is what I can take you, but you need to give me a full commitment with that. You need to help me to help you. And once they start seeing a little progress, and they just help themselves.
But when you do some unrealisticness, example, and as you said, I want to lose 15 kgs in a month,
or 15 days.
And it might happen, somebody saying they see it online that, okay, you follow this diet and you do these exercises, and you lose XYZ kgs, which is...
So that's where the, going back to what I said, having that deep knowledge about actual fitness, what's possible, what's not possible, is necessary. So someone could say, okay, they follow this diet, they follow the keto diet, you just gotta let them know. The way you lose weight is calories,
deficit.
Calorie deficit, exactly. So that's the only way you can work. Even though you're doing keto, you're eating less calories than you burn. So that's how you lose weight. So you just gotta make them realize what's going on. If that doesn't work, you give them a hard way. You tell them, okay, you're only allowed to eat one banana, and 2 days later, like, okay, no.
You take them out from the pro science and put them in the deep science.
Exactly.
Take them in the hard way.
You do them, and then they'll come back. Most people are very cooperative.
And coming back to the fight plans, now that the fight season is on. So the first, one of the fights I remember, you were going to Goa and representing Nepal after the first.
No, I didn't go to Goa. I went to Mumbai.
Sorry. When you represented Nepal after your first month fight, and I think it was in Goa. At that time, your corner was not the person with whom you trained with. I'm pretty sure it was not Koshish or.
No, it was the boys from Managal.
Okay. How was that?
I mean, I think we all shared an experience because we didn't know each other. So it was very hard because I think even for the Gokarna and Man fight, I had 10 days to prepare. I just came back from vacation. So I didn't
fresh and ready.
Missing fat, completely out of shape and all that. So I didn't really have much for that fight. But I won and I put on a performance. So they're like, okay, we're taking 3 best fighters from this competition. We're taking them to Mumbai. I was like, okay, cool. And they said, oh, it's in 12 days.
Oh,
not so very short.
That's very short, man. Yeah. And they said it right at the fight, man. I just,
you're like,
I just fought a guy.
You're like, I'm gonna eat burgers, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna go out.
Yeah, I'm not train for a week.
Yeah.
But But they're like, it's in 12 rounds. They announced it in the fight. I didn't want to fight. I even told somebody, hey, I think this is too short. I don't think I got it. I was like, this is an opportunity you must take. Alright. Once Sunday says something, you have to do it. Right? He knows better. So, alright, I'll do what I can. So, even for that fight, I didn't have a lot of sparring. Lots of pads and just conditioning. So, there's two of this. What else can you do? You can't out spar. It's technical sparring, so no sparring experience. My sparring experience was the fight. Man. So, go there. That's why I feel like I rushed in too much. I made a mistake. Even though I do think I could have beaten that guy, but during the scramble, something happened. I think I hit the shoulder, hit my nose in the shoulder, or maybe landed an elbow. And then my nose broke, and the doctor stopped the fight. So it's just
But how was it like? What was your emotions going through, knowing that you didn't want it to take it in the first place?
Yeah.
And you didn't really get the result you wanted.
So after I didn't want to take it, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm doing it. I got out of that phase of I don't want to do it, because I said I'm doing it now. I don't care what happens, I'm doing it. So it was just trying to keep myself calm, and it was a different experience, man. I can finish this. So anyway, it was same day weigh. It was terrible. It was very hot. We reached there around 12, right? 12 a.m. Mumbai time. And then
very hot.
Very, very hot.
Very humid too.
Very humid. And traffic.
Oh, wow.
So we were stuck in 3 hours for traffic. And every hotel we went to, they're like, oh, if you don't have Aadhaar card, we're not letting you in.
Because of the new
They didn't accept your passport.
No. So I think it's around Independence Day. Somewhere around that time we left, and that's when the security is all time high. So you don't have an Aadhaar card, 13 hours. So we reached the hotel at 3:30 a.m. and we left Kathmandu at 10 a.m.
That's a long time.
That's a long journey.
So that's 17 and a half hours.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Anyway, I think we spent a couple of days roaming around, and fight comes in. Same day weigh, and we're waiting, and we haven't eaten anything. So we got the weigh in, and they give us. So it was supposed to be in
the arena?
some hotel, but because it was a hotel, they wouldn't allow outside food. They gave us biryani, but we're not supposed to eat inside the hotel. So we had to go outside the hotel in a bus stop, and then it rains because it's monsoon time. So we're eating biryani. It's raining, we're all stuck in the bus station. It was terrible.
Life of a fighter.
Oh man, it sucks. And 2 hours later I have to fight this guy.
So you don't have enough sleep, you're eating out in the rain.
Yeah.
And you have to fight this guy in 2 hours.
And the biryani was spicy, man. My stomach was not great.
Yeah. So I think these factors were not the reason.
Not really. But it was not comfortable. It was not. So
it was quite a different challenge for you in a way.
I was told to expect the uncomfortable times. Know that this is not your element, and if you expect good things, nice, then when that happens, then you just completely lost because there's so many things going on. So that way, my coach told me, hey, just expect the worst of the worst. So I was fine with that. So then the fight starts, and I think I'm the second last fight, which is always terrible experience because you have to wait the entire time everybody's done with their fights. So I had nobody helping me warm up. I was just in the corner somewhere at the end, just shadowboxing with yourself, and I was just mentally hyping myself. I'm going to beat this guy. I'm not going to lose to a guy named Bobby. That's what I was saying to myself. I'm not going to lose to a guy named Bobby. So I was getting ready. I was warmed up. I went inside the fight, and they played AC/DC, and I was already pumped up. So I think I went inside that fight ready to kill this guy, because that's why I went too aggressive, too made too many mistakes. So.
And you do corner.
I cornered the other two boys. No,
and
one of them.
I know you cornered fighters from Rage when they were representing Rage in Man too.
Yeah.
So when you're cornering, you're still an active fighter.
Yeah.
That means you still have that urge to,
Yeah.
step in and you still are, right? When you see some small mistakes happening here and
Yeah.
there, how do you differentiate yourself? From, okay, it's not me who's fighting,
Yeah.
but I have to be give him the right advice to suit him to me.
Oh, okay. So how I would take the fight and how they're taking the fight, because they have different skills.
They have different skills, right?
Yeah.
Because not technical. Like for example, you were corner for Manisha, and you know Manisha, and Manisha has a different skill set, like when compared to you.
Yeah.
But when you're cornering Manisha, so what does it normally, you see from to make sure that she gets the win?
So for that, you need to have good training experience with her. You need to understand what she knows and what she doesn't know. And so when she was fighting at MMA, we had a game plan. We just hit and move. You say that, but I think with her, she once she got taken down, then it was a different. I think that fight was just very hard to corner, man. She was right in front of us, just taking the shots. At one point, I was just like, "It's 15 seconds.
You can
You
do
got
it.
this.
Yeah.
Just stay there." That's I do look at that fight and I think to myself, I could have done better. So I don't know, man. I think cornering and so me telling them what to do is the last thing they want.
Okay.
They should be able to do that by themselves. So I think the best thing you can do is help them lead the training and for them to understand. Because if I know something and telling them what to do, they're not going to be able to do it.
Do you know who says that? Jordan.
No?
Jordan.
Great minds think alike.
I'm mixing Jordan and Jordan.
Jordan.
But what he said was, everybody was asking him about Gordon Ryan and like what he feels when he's competing. And he says that if you are a coach and your fighter is on your side in the ring, then your job as a coach is almost over. The last thing you should do is tell them what to do. The only thing you should be doing is sometimes give a bit of tips. But other than that, it's all on the fighter. Give them morale and they'll do their best.
That's the best way to explain it.
The guy who has so much experience back then.
Things like me too.
Yeah.
And coming to the fight once, how is the preparation going on for the?
It's going good, man. I do feel very confident with my training, with the training I put in, and the way I'm consistent at it. So I feel excited. So this is one of the first camps where I've taken a different kind of approach, and I want to see what this brings in. I do feel with the way I put myself in, I should do good. So let's go for it.
So you're representing Rage.
Don't get the Rage now at Omega Fight Championships
On July 15th.
July 15th.
At Shankamud, right?
Yeah, Shankamud, yeah.
At Shankamud. The gate opens at 5 p.m. Guys, I hope you are over there to support him and our other fight team members. All the best, Ashutosh, for your fight. It was lovely having you here, man.
You too, man.